All right, everybody. I'm excited to have Joey Yak, the studio CEO, with me here today. I've been watching him do his thing for a little bit now. For probably the last few months is when he came on my radar, and he kind of came on my radar by storm. Like, he's all over my feed, and my partner had the opportunity to meet him just a month or so ago, and I'm excited to have him here. He's been doing some work with me, and man, so talented, and just thank you for taking time the day after Christmas here, folks, to do this. So
yeah, dude, thank you so much for having me, man. I love doing this type of stuff, and I'm ready to get it.
All right, let's go. First and foremost, the name of the podcast is Championship Leadership. So I always love to ask, like, what's the first thing that comes to mind? What do you think of when you hear championship leadership?
Man, you know, I'm an athlete, right? So back, like, instantly, it took me to high school for some reason. Like, when I seen the name, it took me on because I was a real big soccer player, and it took me, and I was the captain, and I was the leader of that team, and instantly it took me back to high school, man, and I loved it. I didn't even hear anything yet, but I was like, I'm digging that name because I feel like I'm back on this field, man, for real.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so you told me a little bit about that. Let's talk a little bit more. So you played soccer, but you excelled, right? Like
Yeah, I was killing it.
Looking to play pro, right?
Well, I went over to England. It's the typical. And once you hear my story, I think everybody will understand a little more. But you know, I was doing dumb shit just like everybody else, you know, in high school, and I ended up going to community college, and like all the D1 offers that I got, I was like, I'm good on that, you know, but that was just me being me because of my dad being gone. I realize now, but I went over to England and I got the MVP for this Olympic development team, and the under 18 Manchester United team was like, dude, we want you to stay. I was like, I can't, you know, I got to finish out this year in college, and then I'll come back over. And I was the soccer player that did music, not the guy that did music that was okay at soccer or that was good at soccer. Yeah. But then I broke my leg, man, and found out I was having a daughter, and like I quit soccer and went full blast on my music, and that's where it kind of led me at today with all the obstacles, and we'll get into that, man. But I thought I was gonna be a pro soccer player for real, like everyone did, and they were like, "You need to stop with this music shit," but I can do it, you know. It was a passion always, but I miss soccer, man. I miss it. I actually, when I came home from Hollywood, I tried out for the pro team in St. Louis, and I made it. And instantly I quit, and they were like, why? I was like, I just needed to prove myself that I still can ball. I was like, there ain't no money in your guys' pro stuff. Yeah. Like, you know, and I was finally making money selling advertisement. So I quit, you know, but it was good for me. I was like, I still got it, you know.
Yeah, see if you got it. Yeah, right. I love it. Yeah, so all right. So Manchester United actually asked, like, hey, we want you to hang around, and you're like, no, I got to go back to school, which is
the under 18 team, U18, and see, I just turned 19 too, and I told them that, and they were like, look, let's. There's a school in Leeds, I think it's called. And they were like, yo, they were trying to give me the scholarship and come there and then play with the development team with the Manchester United. Who knows what would have happened? You know, like I always think, I really don't think about it. Like when it even comes up, I'm like, it's all good. Like I'm living the life I'm supposed to, but it was dope, man. And it's real dope. I sometimes think about going after it. Just so people know that you can do anything.
Yeah.
Like set my mind to it. Like I had no training when I even tried out for that pro team. I was no running. I ran for like 3 days in my front yard. I was like, I'm going to do this shit. And I made it. I was throwing up and shit, but I made it.
Crammed. So what's the, you know, talk a little bit. What's the skill level like, you know, from playing here, growing up around here, playing soccer to obviously, I mean, they call it football there, and it's like life, isn't it? That's my perception. It's like life over there.
It's like football, basketball over here. You know, it's like NFL. Everything. It's real competitive. It's real serious. I mean, it was you know, U19, U18, but like that was their life. You know, like if you're over there, it's, you know, you're doing something right.
As an American, did you get any flack for that?
No,
No?
my whole team was American.
Oh, they were.
Um, Actually, they loved it. Everyone,
Yeah.
us being American and talking the way we talk,
Yeah,
they loved it.
I bet. Cool, man. So yeah, let's talk about you made that decision, you came back and then you got into the music. Like, what was that path like for those that haven't heard your story or haven't heard,
Right.
how you've gotten to where you are today?
Man, I'll go all the way from the start, man. At 9 years old, I wasn't the typical, me and my dad's relationship wasn't the typical, hey, dad, on Saturday mornings, let's go watch cartoons. It was like, hey, let's go hop in the Oldsmobile and turn on some Boogie Down Production, and I'm going to battle you like rap battle. It was a very different lifestyle growing up other than the people that I grew up with. And that was normal life to me, and so I'm from St. Louis, and Nelly just blew up right here. And we were living in a neighborhood called Pleasant Hollow, and we always see these real badass cars drive by. And little did we know that Ali from the St. Lunatics lived like 12 houses up from me. And then we saw that car at the fireworks stand. I want to say it's back in 01 and 2001. And my dad ran up to Ali and was like, yo, you guys are tight, but the one thing that you're missing is a white boy. And they all started laughing. Well, Ali got in our car because I guess my dad, all I remember is Ali looking back at me like this. And my dad had his song going, but I was getting it. I was, my name is Big Fred, flowing and beatboxing on my chest. And he was like, wow. He was like, sir, talking to my dad. He was like, I don't know about you, but your kid's a star. And right there, that planted the seed in my heart, man, that I had something. I think in everything that I did, my dad told me like at 3 years old, I was playing against 8-year-olds in soccer and scoring a hat trick every game. And so like I've always had that it factor, I guess. But like that's the first time I remember it planted a seed. Like, damn, I'm somebody. I'm a star. I can be whatever I want to be. And they blew up. Like, we stayed in touch. He had us coming to the video shoots. They blew up. But like I said, that planted the seed, so I never stopped. I started building a fan base with younger kids, like just loving it and selling out shows at like 13, 14, in small little venues. And I was going by Jay Fresh at the time. And then as I grew up, and like I said, though, I was a ball player. I was the soccer player that rapped, right, that had a buzz. And going into high school, soccer became a little more serious than music. That was my full-time thing. But with my dad being, well, I didn't even say this. My dad hit the crack pipe at 13, I think, between 11 and 13 years old. And, oh, man, it screwed me. Like, he was there one day and gone the next, I felt like. And, like, we lost our house. We lost all our money. We had to move in with my grandma and grandpa. And I was devastated, right? Like, and I got into this real dark place, and like, I'm building this buzz with music from telling stories about my life at such a young age. Like, the songs were horrible. Like, going back listening now, it's like, oh my gosh, like the quality was shitty. But it was real. I was talking about my dad being gone and just all crazy shit, man. And, I think that led me to kind of being scared to even leave North County, St. Louis, small town called Hazelwood in St. Louis. And I always knew I had the star factor, but I had no male influence. So I was so young. I was a boy. I was immature. My mom could not raise me by herself. Like, I was a savage, man. Like, selling weed out of her house. She's knowing it. She can't do nothing about it. We don't have money. I need some money. That's the only way I knew how to get money. And I was that guy, it was that popular all-star soccer player that, you see those type of people and you think their life at home is amazing, but it wasn't. It was like this gritty dude that you wouldn't even know, unless you listen to my music. So like I said, I got kicked out of my high school right after senior year of high school soccer, set the record. 2 weeks later, boom, they booted me out. I was out of school for a while. Got back in, graduated on time. Then I just got a full ride to Lewis and Clark Community College. It's about 30 minutes. They paid for everything. All my homies from the neighborhood went there. We kicked it.
Yeah.
Kicked it. But when we got our ass whooped in soccer, and it was like I was losing the passion for soccer, none of us cared. All of us were getting high before games, and we just didn't care. And then the second year, I looked at everyone. I was like, yo, I'm about to ball out again like I used to. And that's when I went over to England, and they were like, wow. And then I came back. The first 3 games, they projected me to be an All-American, and I broke my leg. This dude smashed me, man. Like 50-50 ball was going out of bounds, and I was like, you know, this is out of bounds. But this dude was not playing, and boom! You know, I'm 5'5". I said, I'm a 5'5" white guy. This dude was like 6'2", and booted me. And instantly I broke my leg, and like the next day I found out I was having my daughter with who is my fiance now, which after you hear my story, you won't even know how I'm still with her. But it's definitely a blessing. She told me she was pregnant. I dropped out of college the next day, and I said, I'm going all in with music. You know, I had a buzz. It wasn't like I just started from scratch. Like I was already doing it, but I never was serious. It was always kind of like just a passion and a hobby of mine. And I made, like, even when I sold out those shows, like I was so unexperienced of business, like I didn't make no money. Like the owners of the venues loved me because they were making so much damn money off me. And yeah, man, I dropped out. I got a job being a porter, cleaning cars. My daughter's born. You know, I'm still selling weed because being a porter did not pay no bills, like $10 an hour. And living in my mom's house in her basement. And then I get a call from the same person that I seen at the fireworks stand, Ali from the St. Lunatics, saying, I've been watching you the whole entire time. I want to sign you. I quit that job that day. I went over to the studio. I got signed. Now, here's the thing. The takeaway for this nowadays is you never know who's watching, right? You don't. Yeah. Like, someone's always watching, especially with social media now, you know?
Yep.
And that's what, you know, perception is everything. You know, the way someone is seeing you online, it's important, or seeing you, how you carry yourself, it's very important. But I got signed to Dirty and T. We got through Universal Records. I was going by Yak Boy Fresh at the time. Yak stands for You Already Know. And if you don't know by the end of this podcast, you never will. But he signed me, man. But I thought I got the job as as the manager, but I wasn't even qualified to be the janitor. I'll be honest. Like, my hustle went all the way down. I got a deal. I'm thinking I made it, but man, you just made the team, bro. That doesn't mean you're on the starting 5. You know, like, you just made, like, you got warm up. Like, you might be the water boy now, you know? And it was crazy because within, you know, they flew me out to LA. We went into Universal Republic's headquarters with Wendy Goldstein. She's the vice president of Universal Republic. I don't know if she is now, but she was then. And she was like, oh my God, I love the kid, blah, blah, blah. You know, let's do a little demo deal. Just, you know, the Hollywood bullshit, right? And 8 months in, I left. I was like, hey man, like, you know, I'm still selling weed out my mom's basement. You know, we haven't really made any moves. Like, I'm good with all this hype. And like, I'm glad that I did it, but it was just, I was so young and so immature, and I just did not know what I didn't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. So I left that, which led me to new management. I went independent, and Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony heard about me. And he was like, if the kid can get out to LA tomorrow, you know, I'll listen to him. We scraped up some money. We got out there, and one song led to 2 to 3 to 4. He looked at me. He was like, yo, I don't know why they let you out of the contract. You're a star. And I was like, I appreciate it. I got a beat sent to me by my buddy Jimmy Hargrove. He did the Over and Over Again with Tim McGraw and Nelly. A lot of my producers are like Nelly's producers, all in St. Louis. And I showed Crazy. I was like, man, it would be dope if, you know, me and you made a song together. Legendary group, legendary icon, you know, Crazy Bone. And that right there led to the next 10 hours of us creating our song. We did Scraping the Sky, Yak Boy Fresh featuring Crazy Bone. And that song led to a music video, and that music video led to a nationwide tour with them for about a year, which led me to Hollywood. Now, remember, I'm from Hazelwood in St. Louis, and I always was like Hazelwood to Hollywood, you know. And when I got to Hollywood, I realized that I'm Hazelwood, and there's a lot of stuff happening around me with the people I was associated with that I felt what I know now is the Holy Spirit telling me to go back to Hazelwood. You're not Hollywood. Like, I was a real bad alcoholic. I was popping pills. It was Adderall in the morning, Xanax at night, or a Vicodin at night to go to bed. I couldn't drink unless I was fucked up, you know, and I was young as hell, and I got my daughter back at home, and I was flying first class on a guilt trip because my dad, remember, was a crackhead, and he was gone, and I was gone for my kid, and I'm a boy thinking I'm a man trying to raise a kid. It was tough, and it took a couple of crazy life events to happen for me to really pack up my bags and leave every single person and say, yo, hate me, you know, it is what it is, but I gotta go. And I packed up and I left, and I never have looked back since. And I slept on my buddy's floor, Scotty, for 2 weeks while I was getting money together. And, you know, different city, different girl, you know, different city, different drugs. Like, I was living what you thought was the American dream on the outside looking in, but when you're actually living it, it's the worst nightmare. Because if you don't know who you are, you know, I wanted everyone to know who I was, but I didn't even know who I was. Like, that shit's so deep and so real. I called my fiance, which is my high school sweetheart, which is my daughter's mother, which is, I just love saying it because she knew what I was doing. I treated her like shit. I wasn't holding her down. Barely was sending money back because I wasn't making money unless I was middleman in a deal from Cali to St. Louis with, you know, weed. And, but I never was that like, oh, I'm this big drug dealer, right? I just you know, I never wanted to get rich as a D-boy. I always wanted to just like pay my phone bill and my child support, you know, like that. And, man, when I came back home, or I flew into Miami, and I know I'm dragging this on, but, like, I'm feeling this right now, man. I flew to Miami with my fiance, or my baby mom at the time, and she looked at me and I said, I promise you, I got you. You'll never have to pay rent again. Like, I got you. Like, I'm your guy again. All the mother, like, I knew she never really knew if she was messing around with other guys, but, like, I assumed, like, man, like, I'm making her miserable. And, like, I've had people tell me some shit, but I told her, like, look, all the bullshit I was on, it's gone. And all the bullshit you were on, it's like, we're together. You know, I told her. I didn't ask. I told her as. I moved into the house that we live in now with her that she was already living in, which we rented from her brother. And I became the man that I wanted to be. I got sober 6 months after that. When I came home, I found God. I tell people, like, you know, I used to be go-go gadget ratchet, and I overdosed on the Holy Ghost. Like, I literally would flood myself in liquor. Now I flood myself in scriptures. And it's no Bible thumping. It's you know, some people don't believe in God, or they just don't know. They just don't know God, and they just don't know that voice in their head. And some people don't call God, and that's cool, but that's what works for me. And, man, when I walked into the church, it was just this energy and this feeling that I chase for. You know, it's like, I want that, you know, because when you're an addict or an alcoholic or whatever, you're always an addict. You just got to channel it in a different way. But I got a job. I was trying to do labor and all this type of shit, and I refused to, you know, go back to selling drugs again. And I got a job in the digital advertisement at a local directory called yp.com, the phone book, Yellow Pages, but it was all their digital local site. And, man, I made $100,000. I walked in there with no experience. I walked in with like $5 outfit on and was like, look, you know, I've done this, done this, done this. And I kind of just sold them me. I said, I don't know how to do none of your shit. I don't know how to talk marketing, advertisement, none of that shit. But what I do know is I know who I am now. I know that I'm sober and that I found God, and that I will make $100,000 here. And I did. But I learned sales, marketing. I learned the language that business owners speak. And I felt real hypocritical because I was like, I'm not even getting high on my own supply, which means how am I telling business owners what to do, but I'm not a business owner? Like, it really irked me. And obviously I'm I'm an artist, you know, so I would tell stories. Like, I would make like little theme songs for customers that were quitting because, you know, no disrespect to yp.com, but that shit didn't work. And like, I was getting so many chargebacks. So I would walk into work with like songs talking about chargebacks. Like, I'm out here fighting chargebacks. Like, where the leads at? Trying to create culture, you know, in the environment. And everybody like took it as a joke, but they're like, yo, this shit's hot. Like, this is dope. Which kind of put another seed in my heart. Like, man, I'm not asking for permission. I'm going to go do me. And I quit that job this year in February or March. In March, I won the winner's circle. They flew us out to Florida. I told my boss, look, I'm taking this trip and I ain't coming back. Like, I'm going to do me, which I thought I was going to do Facebook ads for artists. I dove into that and learned that pretty well. But I was like, I was making these theme songs for people, man. And I was like, my melody, your message. And it led me to where I am today, which that's what I do, is put my melody to your message. And, you know, rock media, rock stands for recycling old content. I'm taking old videos from Facebook, YouTube, and I'm repurposing them for the business owner. And it's like, I'm channeling my passion and I'm making a profit. I tell everyone, you know, I packaged up my past, my pain, my passion, my problems, my poverty, any P word you want to think of. And I presented it as a product, and now I'm making a living. And within, you know, from March to now it's December 26th, man, I made a shit ton of money doing what I love to do. And it's just getting started. It is just getting started. Like right now, everybody's witnessing me telling my story in a freaking, I do all this in my backyard. Like I just built a shed. Right next to me is an RV. I used to say RV revenue. Now it's backyard business. Like I love the underdog feeling and the underdog story, which I'm in this shed, man. And it's dry. It just got drywalled. And like, I just love being original and authentic and being Joey, man. And Yak, you already know. And if you don't, that's on you.
That's powerful. That's an incredible story. So I didn't realize that you just started doing the studio CEO stuff basically in March.
Yeah.
And obviously you've been in the music game for a long time, but you know, yeah, that's an incredible story because you've really blown up. And like you said, you're just in the beginning, you're just starting. So it's incredible to watch and see, and powerful story. There's a lot of, you know, I talk a lot, championship leaders. If you think about, you know, you said you're a sports guy. I don't know how much you watch football, but like Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, I say it all the time. They're the top in the college and professional football game. Like they win it every year. Like it's at the beginning of the year. It's not like who's going to be in the Super Bowl. It's like who's going to beat them this year. Like they're already kind of there. Yeah. And you get there by making the hard decisions. You get there not because your life was perfect along the way, but because just like everyone else's, you come to crossroads and you're willing to take those turns down the road less traveled when everybody else wants to go the easy way or what they think is the easy way. And I believe the true championship level leaders, they're the ones willing to go where most are not. And, you know, I call those, there's always those times in our lives that we can look back and that we automatically think of when you're like, I could have went this way, but I went this way. And like, that's why I'm here today. And I heard you, I don't know, I heard probably 3 or 4 of those examples for you in just your story. And I'm sure you got more, but yeah, do you think is there one moment, like even just talking about, you came into YP.com and you killed it, had no experience, made 100,000, made the trip. And then you're just like, I can't keep doing this. And you realize that you had a talent for what you're doing here, which also led you to even more, bigger and better things, connections that you've made, the network that you've created. And you did this, like it wasn't handed to you, it wasn't given to you. Like you went out and hustled and went in and did the work and made it happen for yourself. But yeah, can you talk to that, or is there a moment that really sticks out in your mind?
Man, I think I was talking to actually someone at YP, and like he told, like I was so new into the church language, and like, you know, he was like, just trust God's will. Because I looked at him, I was like, I know, like I had this burning desire that I was supposed to do something bigger in life. And, you know, I said, what does that mean? Trust God's will. And he said, you are where you are because it's a part of your story. And I said, damn. I said, okay. And then I started doing the theme songs. And I think a lot of people feel that they're going to find their purpose. You won't find your purpose unless you go look for it on purpose. And I realized that this might not be the thing, but it's going to lead to the thing. So think about, that's my whole life. One subliminal move plus 9 subliminal moves does not equal 10. It equals the big power move, the one big ass power move, right? So if I wouldn't have met, bless you, if I wouldn't have met Ali from the St. Lunatics at 10 to keep on grinding, to getting that deal, to meeting Crazy Bone, to realizing like, holy shit, I need to go home to my family, then to say I need to make money, and then going into sales and marketing, and then walking away from that into doing what I'm doing now. One thing leads to the thing. And then when you think it's the thing, it might even be to the next thing. Like, it's never, you know, even with championship leadership, it's not like, I've had to start over so many times, and you have to be willing to fail fast, start over, and be so humble. I always say triple H, humble, hunger, and hustle. Like, I got in front of Ryan Stewman and Tim Grover and Brad Lee and, you know, Casey Adams, which led to the Gary V sneaker song that I created. Like, I have worked with some of the baddest. Billie Jean is marketing. Like, I call my video, he was my first real influencer like that, right? That I made a song for, and he put it out there, which really jump-started what I'm doing. And I just ran with it. It's like he led me to the door, and I kicked that shit off the hinges because I stayed ready and I stayed prepared. It's like, you got to be prepared for an opportunity that may never come, rather than the opportunity approach you and you nut up because you're like, I don't even know what to do with this shit. And some people are so trapped in the everyday life that they don't even understand that you're getting led to that door. Just kick that motherfucker down. Like, you're walking past, like, you're looking at that house like it's abandoned when, dude, like, that's a straight mansion inside, dude. Like, of your life. You can live the paradise. You know, your vocation can feel like a vacation, man, like every single day of your life. And I just really think it's because I had this burning desire, and I look at right now and who I want to become. You know, people say fake it till you make it, but I just call it manifesting. Like, you manifest to what you really want to become, and you retrain your brain. And what I really did was, when I read this scripture, you know, and I ain't trying to get all Bible thumping, but 1 Corinthians 15:33, bad company corrupts good character. And it made me realize, it made me like stop doing music the way I was doing music, and channeled everything. Like, now what we listen to is so important. So like, I don't even listen to rap no more or music. Cause like, if you sit there and listen to some trap music, I want to sell drugs after that. Like, yeah. Like, words create pictures create emotions trigger a feeling, and then feelings trigger an action. So I'm over here like, if I let anything into my subconscious mind, it's going to be something that is educational. I don't want no bullshit. So it's a podcast or it's an audio book. Don't get me wrong. I jump from time, like this morning I woke up and put some Ace Hood on from back in the day, and I was like just messing around with my family and getting it. But then I'm at the gym and I'm listening to David Goggins, you know, You Can't Hurt Me audiobook, right? You know, like, I'm over here. I am becoming the person that I want to be, because I know, like, and I sit there and just read nonstop. Like, I love learning about the brain, which I learned about it. So now I don't even get anxiety, because I understand if I even feel it, I know like what to do and everything now. Like, it's just controlling the thoughts in your mind. And it's so much bigger than being able to rap or being able to sell advertisement or any of that. It's knowing that you can become who you want to be, but you know, it's not going to come easy. You got to let people go. Like, you got to do you, and it's lonely. It gets very lonely, but I'm cool with it, man. I love who I'm becoming, what I've done so far. I'm 26, and I just can't imagine where I'm going to be by the time I'm 30.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Like, yeah, you're 26. I'm going to think about this. It's incredible. And like, you've lived a full life.
Couple of them.
Some of it, like, you know, you shouldn't have had to, but hey, it's also a part of who you are in your journey, and brought you to where you are today. So I'm sure you wouldn't change it. But at the same time, like, man, yeah, you've lived a full life, and you're only 26. And so that's incredible. Yeah, talk about, like, how did you know, so there's a lot of, you know, as a coach, with clients and entrepreneurs, like a lot of time people want to get caught up in the how, or like, how do you do this, or how do you start, or what if you don't want to? And I hear a lot of what you're saying is like, you just had to go figure this out, make it work. Yeah, you lean off of your experiences and all of that, but at the same time, there's just a piece of you that's just like, got to go figure it out, right?
Yeah, you got to fail fast. You got to literally go learn, go learn this shit. Like I went, and like when you have that burning desire and you're so at peace with yourself and you know who you are, people see that shit, man. Like you reached out to me because you were like, oh shit, like this dude's dope, he's talented, awesome. But it's when I tell people talent gets me in the door, but character is what keeps me there. And people need to understand that, man. It's like, how do I do this? How do I do that? Like really, you need to think about your why before the how, because your why is going to be so big and you're so determined that the how is going to be easy. Like law of attraction, like you're going to get led to people that are going to be able to help you do what you do, but you just got to be real. And if you're bullshitting, people feel that energy. When people meet me, they see the energy and they feel it and they're like, damn, like this kid knows who he is. And for the longest I didn't. I would envy people that knew who they were, like bad. And I just realized that people need to stop trying to make everybody, want everyone to know who they are before they know who they are. So hopefully even when they're hearing this, it's like, ask yourself that weird, deep question. Do I even know who I am? Because if you're developing the habits of every single day, like that's it. Your brain is so routine to this shit. I tell people, walk outside and like look at the trees and the grass and like really look, like, holy shit, look at the clouds, how they're moving. Like the fact that we're on camera talking right now and I'm moving my hands because I want to is absolutely insane to me. Like it's amazing. And don't get me wrong, like I try to remain positive all times, but like I let a lot of business sometimes consume me, and I'm so determined and hustle, and like that's why like I'm really getting my strategies on balancing and, body being balanced and business. And I just love learning. Like if you're not learning, you're legitimately dying. And I know that I'm going to get to a point where I'm at right now. And hopefully that's where I'm at now is like, all right, let's get to some residual income, the passive income. And then I know I want to get into real estate, but it's just never going to stop, man. Like I am my own machine. I'm building long-term life relationships, and people just want that quick lead and that quick dollar. Like I've done all this stuff organically. Like I haven't ran one ad, not one. And it's because I know how to get personal with people. I know I talk about the shit no one wants to talk about, especially in my songs. My ideal client calls me crying like, yo, that shit, I've never heard my story like that ever told before in my life. And I'm able to do it in my backyard, in my shed. And the only reason why I'm able to do it the way I do it is because all those years of preparation with music. I've been audio engineering myself for 10 years now. And, I have thousands of unreleased songs, and I could have been like, this is such a waste of time and bullshit because they're all sitting here right now. Or I said, I'm going to make a business out of this. And all those thousands of songs were just preparation to my real promises, which I'm doing right now.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Even you talk about like, you even sometimes along the way, right? Like I imagine in the music business, right? You link up with some pretty big names in the industry, and then you get behind the scenes and you realize just because you have a deal doesn't mean like you've made it. It doesn't even mean like, all it really means is they got somebody else to like do the dirty work, right? Like to get the water, get the coffee or whatever else. But like, it's just where it's begun. And then maybe get behind the scenes and realize this isn't what you wanted. This isn't what you thought it was all about. I don't know if that's the truth or not, but like,
oh man, dude, it's so important that's why I preach it so much, is you have to know who you are before you want everyone else to know who you are. Because once everyone knows who you are, you're going to look around and say, that's it. I haven't made, in 1 year over $100,000 in my company. What's dope about it is like my company is going to be a 6-figure company by next June, that's when I kind of started everything like legitimate. I was just a PayPal hustler, hey, send me some bread, and I got legitimate, like I didn't know shit about business and LLCs and, all that type of stuff. But the thing that I'll never forget, Crazy Bone looked at me, he said, Yak, we're out here chasing the devil, kid. And I was like, what do you mean? and this was before, I had my spiritual, and like, I just thought as the devil as, how the outside world thinks of it. And he said, we're chasing the devil. And he named all his mixtapes that. And what he means by that is we're just chasing the next trend. It's like a junkie chasing their next high, like chasing the next trend so you can get paid in the entertainment world. But that's also business. It's chasing the devil of the next mark you want to hit. And it's a good thing and a bad thing because you want to keep on leveling up. But with the music industry, if you don't know who you are and everyone knows who you are, you will never be at peace with yourself, and you will never be at peace with what you've done or what you've accomplished because you're chasing that high. And then it made me write. I said, how the game goes, how the fame goes, it's like a pot at the end of a rainbow. You can keep looking and searching, but what you ain't know, you probably already got what you came for. And what we are coming for is, we all have our egos, and we all want to feel like the man and feel like we've accomplished something and feel that success. But success does not have one firm definition. You get to create what success means to you. Like, let's think about words right now in general. Like, who even created all these words that I'm letting flow out of my mouth right now? Yeah. It's like, hold up. No, what success means to me, what failure means fertilizer to me. Success means what I'm going after, but it's like, Joey, what is success to you? And there's times where I still don't even know. And it's like, it's okay that I don't know, but it's not okay to not be proud of myself. And cause I'm hard as fuck on myself. My fiance always says it. She's like, dude. And it's like, it's keeping me who I am though. I want to be the glow for everyone, man. So I think it goes in business as well. I see all these people. I know a lot of people that are millionaires and that damn near will be billionaires that are looking for this self-satisfaction that they're never going to find with money. You're never going to find it with money. You just have to find it with yourself. And it's, if I can't be happy in this backyard business or in that RV revenue, why would I be happy in an office space? And why would I be happy doing everything else? Like, this is why I'm happy, because I take what I have and master that shit. Like, I took this microphone and I took this computer and this little inbox, this $2,000 worth of equipment, and I make bangers. You don't have to have $1 million studio to make theme songs for millionaires. I told Caleb Maddox that, and he was like, oh shit, that's tight. I was like, it's real though, man. It all goes back to you don't want people to know who you are before you know who you are, because you will get exposed, maybe not to the world, but to your true identity. So some people need to do it, because sooner or later you're going to run into that wall and you're going to say, damn, like that shit hurt, but it's cool. It's cool. You ain't dead, so you're not done, Yeah.
Yeah. What's, so you talked a little bit about, your faith. And that seems to be a big moment inside of your life, and maybe what helped to put you in a different direction than where you were at. Like, can you talk to that? Like, your testimony, what happened? Like, how did that really impact you? How's that impacted you since?
Yeah. So I grew up Catholic, but I grew up exposed to the Catholic Church, you got to go First Communion, you got to go to PSR, because I went to public school. You got to go. So that's, I don't know if everybody knows what PSR is. It's, Tuesday nights you go for like an hour and a half and you learn stuff. It's like when you're forced to do something, you kind of shy away from it. It's like, hey, don't jump in that mud puddle. You're like, I'm jumping in this mud puddle. Yeah. But, I was so forced upon it. And then everything happened with my dad. Like then I went to a Catholic school for soccer because they had a great soccer team. And I'll be honest, I got kicked out of that school. And when I got kicked out, I didn't know the difference between God and Jesus. I couldn't tell you anything. I knew the Our Father, the Hail Mary, cool, whatever. Let's get this over with, But it's just insane, the perspective and the belief that I have now, because I know there's a lot of Catholics out there that feel the same way that I just explained. And they need this feeling, man. And what I realize is be the glow that everyone wants to be. Don't shove anything down people's throat. And that's why I didn't release a lot of my Christian music that I got. I mean, I got stuff like Overdose on the Holy Ghost. And I got one called, it's called Secret Weapon. And I say, I keep a secret weapon. It starts with a G. It doesn't end with UN. It ends in OD. and like all the verses are talking about how I'm strapped up. I don't need a CCW, like, but it's talking about God. And it's just telling that in a different way. And who knows, maybe one day I'll release it, but I just kind of did that for me. But man, when I went to a church called Faith Church, and it's exactly what I needed, man. It's on TV and stuff, but it's based in St. Louis. And when I walked in, the music, like, it sounded like me. Like I could be on that stage. And then I got on that stage, and like I went from the guy, you know, in the back of the sermon to I say, man, I ain't know how to act. I was the person in the sermon sitting way in the back, hood up, head down, walking in alone, way out of my comfort zone. And then, you know, I was going by myself. My fiance, she grew up Catholic as well, kind of the same thing. And then she started going, and then my kids started going, and then like this music, like then I got on stage, but then I started letting it consume me, and they took me off the stage because they told me like, hey, we want to help you build your foundation. And I took that the wrong way. Like at first I didn't, but a lot of people took that the wrong way. Like, you know, because I was bringing new people in the church. Like I was like, yo, I'm changed, guys. Like I did my testimony video, and I think it's one of those things like you need to find. I found the environment where it made me to for real start believing, right? You stay at the gas station long enough, you're going to fill your tank up, barbershop, you're going to get a lining or trim up. You go to a church like that, you're going to start feeling the presence of the Holy Spirit. And it's the belief, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not going to see somebody or nothing like, you know, it's a belief. Like the fact that someone doesn't believe in God, it takes faith. It takes belief to not believe as well, you know? And I ended up leaving that church because it just felt weird. And then as far as like them taking me down and like the tension, like it's a business, you know, like they're a big ass church, like, and it's a business. Like I was up there spitting and rapping, like, oh man, I was crying and really feeling the Holy Spirit. And I found a very small local church in North County in Hazelwood. And it was it's so small. Like the music is not like that. You know, they still do music, but they don't have the money that they have. And Pastor Kyle, which is my spiritual mentor, he does pre-marriage counseling for me and my fiance. Like, dude changed my life. Like, you know, people think of mentors and they have to be multimillionaires, and they think of idols and heroes. Like that dude, that's my guy. You know, like he does it. Their whole slogan there is a place you belong before you even believe. And I was like, damn, that's deep. And damn, and he means that shit. He means that shit. Like
powerful, man.
Yeah, dude. And that's where I'm at now. I think that, you know, and I got this, and I'll send it to you. It's called the Hip Hop Bibles. I did a Proverbs 1 through 12, or 1 through 10, I believe, over hip hop beats. And I'm just saying it. And the reason is because I couldn't read the Bible. I couldn't but one day a beat was on and I was reading the Bible and I was like, oh my gosh, something just clicked. Like if I could just do voiceovers of this whole verse and then at the end create a little melody, that shit'd be game changer, which I did it in that Faith Church. They said it's awesome, but kind of shut me down. And like, I was looking for permission, which you can't look for permission. You got to go do the damn thing. I'd still be in a cubicle right now if I asked for permission to make theme songs for, you know, 7-figure business owners. I would. But yeah, man, I could go very long with faith. I could go real deep. Like I even get emotional thinking about it because I truly believe it's what everyone needs, man. I don't care what religion or anything. It's like you have to believe in something bigger than you, because if you think you are it, you're fucked. Oh, you're fucked, man. Yeah. It's a scary feeling for people that I know that are still in the same ways, but you can't shove it down people's throat because they'll just like that mud puddle. Like I said, they're just going to go jump in the mud if I tell them not to. And the time will come for them to see the way that I'm living and the man that I've become and the success and the father and fiance. And they're going to want some of that. They're going to want that. And that's why I'm doing my videos now, the VIBV, victory and being vulnerable. I love crying with people. I love telling my story. I love telling stories that literally, you know, like you never would tell people. right? Like when I got the phone call talking about, I might have HIV. Like I was going to pocket that up. And when I put that out for 7 days, I had to learn if I was going to have HIV. Like they put a big needle in my, and they said, you might have HIV, dude. And like I told them straight up, like if you don't tell me, and I got a song about it that's unreleased, and who knows, one day I'll release it. And I just channel my whole thought process now, like I'm gonna sell that to Trojan and do something for safe sex. Like I think that way now. It's like our obstacles are our opportunities. And like I said before in here, it's package up your pain, your past, and present it as your product. People, there's victory in being vulnerable. We're all human. And I think I'm so aware of that, and that's why I can be in the same room as all these multimillionaires, is because I've been around them for so long, and I realized that we're all just human, bro. Nobody is fucking this magic person in the world. Don't get me wrong, there's some people that you're gonna be like, wow, like damn, and you're gonna get it, and you're gonna be like, this person's on another level. But at the end of the day, they breathe like us, they shit like us, they eat like us, they talk like us. So guess what? I am one of them as well. So I'm just creating that underdog influence story where, even like I said, multimillionaires, like they even have the ability to really tell their story because they got the money to actually get it out there. It does me. I had no money. I started this shit with some credit cards and went into $40,000 worth of debt. And now I'm almost out of that shit, man, because I would rather bet on myself than get a fucking loan for a school and a degree. Like I chose experience over education. And man, it's just a blessing that where I am, man. It really kind of trips me out sometimes. Like I get something so familiar. I got to say this, something so familiar, something so fantastic soon becomes so familiar. So, when I sent you your song, you're like, damn, this is dope. When I did the song, it's like, this is what I do. This is familiar to me. You think my fiance and my daughter are like, oh my God, my dad just made another banger. They're like, this is what he does, guys. Yeah, but it's so important for people to understand that they have something fantastic as well, and they let it become familiar because they let that habit create. You're creating – people are like, it only takes 21 days to create a habit, so they try to create new ones. But just remember, what you're doing now was created from that as well, that habit that you created that you didn't even know that you developed, man. And then you develop it, and it's so normal because you're healthy and you're living and you're breathing. So then you're like, wow, like who dares someone to judge somebody else from the flaw that they have, because what they're doing is just a habit they just developed, that they're still breathing and they're not in jail and they're providing and they're laughing and smiling, to where it's not really that bad to them because that's what they know. So that's how judgment comes about. But it's being able to look in the mirror and rip inside of yourself and say, is what I'm doing fucked up? Am I fucked up? Do I even know who I am? Oh my God. Like once you figure out that you'll never have it figured out is when you figured it all out, man. I could get so deep in here because life is so fucking beautiful, man. Yeah, like so beautiful.
And and you're living it, and all out too, right? And that's the thing that I see, and I was there, like in this place where you just, like so many others, where you just kind of wake up, Groundhog's Day, like you do the same thing, you go home, you sit in front of the TV, and you just like, it wasn't meant to be, man. It's just not for me. And I'm like, it's so easy to get stuck in that place where you just stop growing. You just accept the cards that were dealt for you and don't think that you can, turn them in for new cards, or that you can create the life that you really want. And you just get beat down, and so it's people like you, man, that can see your story, hear your story, and you're 26, dude. I mean, you're 26 years old, and I don't know, maybe you don't like to hear that, maybe you don't care, but like, I mean, you've done so much, and you're only 26, and you got the wisdom of somebody twice your age. So wherever you got that from, it's amazing. It's just so fun to hear. It's just so fun to hear you talk, because like you get it. And I wish I would have gotten it like when I was 26. And hey, I'm 42. I'm still young, and I still got a long ways to go and a lot of people to impact myself. But it's just incredible. But I want to come back. You said something. You're talking about how you were looking for permission, and then you realized like you can't look for permission. And you know, and then just the power in being vulnerable and like being authentic, being your real self and letting your story out. Because yeah, there are a lot of judges out there, like you say, that are ignoring the blind spots or the weak spots inside of their life, and quick to judge others, right? And to be able to get to that place where you are in life, like, is incredible. Like, so yeah, talk if you got a little time here yet. Because you said you just reached out to Billie Jean, and he's one of the first big influencers that you got exposure to, or that really helped you to get to where you are today, and to get you in front of some other people along the way. Is that not looking for permission? So is that kind of what you would do? Is you know, how did you go about that?
So at first it was like I knew I had a solution to a problem no one even knew. And it was like, he is the go-to guy for edutainment, as you would say. Entertain, educate, and execute is his thing. And I called my videographer and I said, yo, we're doing this song for Billie Jean. I need you to come slide through. I don't have no money for you right now, but like once he pays me, you know, it's all good. And I didn't even talk to Billie Jean yet. I just knew that I did a song. I did a 30-second snippet. I did a music video for him, and I posted on a link, and then I posted on another link, and like I would put C first on Facebook. So like whenever they posted something, boom, I would, you know, attack it real quick. And I had the product already completed, right? And the reason why I was able to do that is because my videographer believes in me. So like that, he'll come over because he knows if I'm doing something, I'm doing the damn thing. So that's why it matters so much on what you're doing every single day, because he looks at me and he's like, this motherfucker's a monster. And I look at myself and I know I'm a monster, and it's like I'm testing markets, and they heard it. They were like, this shit is fire. And then he called me. He was like, you know who this is? I was like, who? He's like, Billy. I was like, what's good, bro? You know, him not really knowing shit about me, but not knowing that I got this gun in my back pocket, which is my experience with my story. You know, my talent gets me in the door, but my character keeps me there. So I don't ask for permission. When I quit my job, they said, Joey, you know, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And they just wanted me to stay because I was the #1 sales rep. And I said, well, that's true, but I'm fucking AstroTurf. Like, I don't give a fuck about your grass. I'm AstroTurf. In any weather, I'm good. We're playing. It's ball game. You know, we're getting it in. And they laugh when I would say that, because they're like, we can't stop this dude. You know, like, I'm dead set. Like, dude, and I'll jump back on what we were talking about. When I was in sales, like, you know, trusting God's will, like, we had 3 breaks, 1 hour lunch and 2 15-minute, you know, they would do smoke breaks. But for me, I was in my car reading my Bible, or I was listening to a sermon, or I was investing and learning more about the language I was speaking on that phone, like listening to Grant Cardone 10X and how he closes. Like, I was investing in myself and learning this knowledge. So when I was on the phone, it would just come to my subconscious mind. It's like, there's 24 hours in a day, and what are you doing with it? Like, I wake up every day before the sun wakes up, or before the sun gets up, and I go to the gym. Sometimes I bullshit. If I don't go to the gym, I'll at least walk around the neighborhood. It doesn't matter if it's cold or not. I'm getting up. I'm going to take action. And then I'm listening. Now what I'm doing is doing a video every single day before I start. Like, I'll meditate. You know, people think that shit's corny, but the corny shit is what leads to self-confidence, and the confidence will make you change as a human. Because a lot of us don't know who we are, man. My bad. A lot of us do not know who we are at all. But yeah, back to the permission though, dude. You can't ask for permission. You obviously can't be like annoying. You have to know how to play the game. And I know how to play the game very, very, very well on providing value, not feeling like I need you, but I want you. But a lot of people are like, well, it's easy for you to say, Joey, you know how to do music, you know how to rap. It's like, no. You can literally like, let's say for an example, you make those signs that's behind you every single day. Okay, well, you make that person a sign, and you do not ask for money. You do not ask for anything. You also, and I think I'm going to do like a little course or something on this, is like how I hit the C first, and like I play a game for a whole week where I comment on everything that they're posting. Not, you know, I'm not getting in their inbox until I know that they know who I am. You know, like they're seeing something, and more than likely someone's gonna go on your page and be like, who the hell is this new dude commenting on my shit? Because they're human, and humans want to know. And then if you have your page looking good for perception, remember, they're going to be like, damn, I might need to know this person. And that's how I've been doing. Just like with you, you probably creeped on my page and were looking on my page. Yeah, someone referred me to you, but then of course everyone's word is good, but you still went and did some research on me, and you're seeing and you're hearing and you're like, this dude is dope. And then we talk, and now we're going to be friends for fucking ever, because talent gets me in the door and character keeps me there. But I don't just talk it, I actually live that shit. So that's it, man. You got to have it all developed though. You know, like, if I would have gave that to Billy, just like music, I got a record deal. I got Crazy Bone. But look, I went all the way back home because my roots weren't in place. Like, you're over here, you know, building. It's just like a foundation on a house, man. You're over here building this multi-million-dollar house, but your foundation's fucked. Like, all right, like what I said, I made like a little acapella song about foundation. I was like, that house built on sand might look long or strong and firm, but it's not long term. So we're going to build it on rock. No shortcuts, no excuses for the devil to come fill in the spots. Look, I found God, but the devil, yo, I feel him a lot. Yeah, he's still on the block, sitting there instigating. But I'm still the same me. But in this house, I'm renovating. I know I just kept going on. I wanted to stop the first line, but that's real, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, people might take some shit out of this and like they're going to listen to what they want to hear, not what they need to hear. And I do that a lot as well. But it's like, you know, and people probably always preach to them about finding peace and this and that. But instead of being like, I don't want to hear that, you should look at it as like, if there is 10 people saying that it's raining outside, it has to be sprinkling at least, right?
Yeah.
At least.
Right.
Like, it's not a sunny, bright day if 10 people are saying it's pouring, you know? Yeah. That might not even be a good analogy, but that's how I look at everything, is like, if you said it, 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 damn it, there must be some raindrops falling from this motherfucker, you know? But it's also looking for good counsel and good mentors and great advice. And that's why I don't limit myself. I go after the top of the top so I can become one of those top ball players as well. And for the longest time, man, I really didn't think anybody wanted to help anybody. And like, but that's because that's what I didn't want to help anybody. And I just wanted to learn for myself. And I didn't know how to give without wanting to receive. And the moment that I developed that into me, it was an absolute game changer. There's people out here that want to see you win. There's people out here that want to help you. And there's people out here that feel you. You know, a lot of people don't feel like their story is powerful. And it's like, yo, you're tripping. You are your biggest asset. I got up off my asset and became one. I tell people all the time, I am a fucking asset. My story is my biggest asset. Only thing obstacles are created for is to make it an opportunity. Only reason why I had a daughter at 19 is so I can help other teen dads. Only reason why my dad's a crackhead and a meth head right now, when he got sober and stuff like that, and I still battle that shit every single day because it fucking kills me. Holidays suck because of the shit sometimes, is because I'm going to get through it one day. I'm just still in the middle of the breakthrough, and I'm going to help other dads and kids maintain their relationship. Like, I'm packaging up my pain and presenting it as a fucking product. We all have a story, and the more pain it becomes, the more pleasure. There's beauty in the struggle. And a lot of people, they just don't realize that, man. It's like, I lost a battle to help everybody else win the motherfucking war, and I will not retreat, and I will never retreat. And every single person needs to understand that they can't fucking retreat. Like, this shit is bigger than you. Life is bigger than you. If you are the biggest thing in life, then you're fucked, like I said. And one other thing is that just popped in my mind about judgment, man, is if someone doesn't like someone, more than half of the time it's because you don't like yourself. You're envying that. Like, I tell people, if you don't like me, you just haven't sat and talked with me for 5 minutes. Like, and I'm not saying that in a cocky way. I'm saying that in the most peaceful, humble way in the world. You can have more money than me. You can be broke as fuck. When you talk to me, you're going to fuck with me because it's real, authentic, and I'm original. And if you don't like me, it's not because you don't like me. It's because you don't like yourself. Fuck, that's real, dude.
I see it. I love it, brother. Hey.
I'm in this shed going in on you right now.
So good, man. So good. I love it. let's wrap this up, brother. We've been here for
Yeah, I
think
know.
an hour or so, and I told you we keep it to an hour. But I could sit here and listen to you all day, man, for real. So,
I love it. This is my favorite thing to do. And you know what? And
yeah,
I'll even put it on camera. It's like, I think that I've been wanting. Here's another thing that everybody needs to watch out for. I've been around these CEOs and these big multi-million-dollar business owners that, like, I'm losing. Like, I would see I wasn't doing as many theme songs, and I was like trying to build rock media, recycling old content with what we're doing together too quickly. And like, cause I wanted to play this, like, yeah, I'm the CEO, yeah. It's like, bro, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And you were broke and this microphone fixed it. So it's knowing who you are, man, my strength. Don't get caught up in that bullshit. Don't get caught in that bullshit. And what I love doing is making music and talking like this. And that's what I need to make sure. Like, I need to be on more stages talking and then performing, because I have a gift. I have a story, and so does everybody watching this. You are fantastic, and it became familiar, so you need to readjust that.
Yeah, man. So I was going to ask you something completely different, but you just brought it up again, and you've said this a lot. Like, you got to know who you are to get where you want to go. So let's wrap this up. Who is Joey Yak?
Man, Joey Yak so I have so many versions of me, right? I have a business. I have my business. I have my Joey. So Joey Yak is the studio CEO that creates custom theme music by putting my melody to your message for 6-7-figure entrepreneurs to create brand awareness that will create culture inside and outside and increase revenue. But Joey Yak is Mr. Overdose on the Holy Ghost, is a fiance, ready to be a great husband, is a man spreading the word to the world without shoving it down their throat, and a guy that was flying first class on a guilt trip because he didn't want to be the same dad that he had. And that's my priority. I'm a father, I'm a fiance, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm the studio CEO, and I am so far from being done, man. Joey Yak, you already know. And if you don't know, by the end of this episode, damn it, you never will.
If you don't know, now you know.
If you don't know, now you know.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. And how can we find out more information?
Yeah, so my main platform, I'm always on Facebook, Joey Yak, YAK, Peeper, PIEPER. That's my personal. You can, Joey Yak is the fan page, but like, I'm a real personal dude. Like, a lot of my stuff is organic. I'm about to start running ads and everything like that, because I get the process of getting leads and everything. But hit me up, Joey Yak Peeper on Facebook, Joey.Yak on Instagram. I ain't on Twitter. I just hate Twitter. I don't, and it's probably bad, but whatever. Facebook and Instagram, and I'm gonna start getting the YouTube going real big. And also, man, Apple Music, iTunes Music, Joey Yak. Go check out some of the songs that I've done for like Brad Lee, Tim Grover, and I got a couple originals, and I'm about to launch that too. So a lot of people, music, I like to call it. You guys are literally witnessing something in my backyard that I'm building, and I can't wait for you guys to watch this and see where I'm at 3 years from now, because we all have a story, and you're witnessing mine, baby.
And you heard it here. I love it, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, bro. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Peace.